What is up, my beautiful people? My name is G-Vans and welcome back to my channel. And today I'm doing something a little bit different. Today I'm going to be doing a video on my top 20 favorite albums of all time because I went on Instagram and a few of you actually said that you wanted to see a video of that. So I figured why the fuck not? And since I'm stuck in quarantine and can no longer leave the fucking house unless it is to go to work, then I just figured, well, why the fuck not? Let's make this video. So hope you guys are excited. Let's get right into it. What do you mean that's not the video we're doing today? Okay, then why the hell is the goddamn camera in front of me? I don't fucking understand. You're kidding. Childish Gambino dropped a new album. Just out of nowhere. Just by complete surprise. Nobody was expecting it. Just out of nowhere. It fucking dropped. Well, with that being said, I am done making reviews, y'all. That's fucking it. I am done. This month has already been the fucking hardest month ever for me to try to choose which album I think is gonna fucking stand out of all of them. And not to mention, I got 4 more other projects by Joyner Lucas, Knowledge, Jesse Reyes, and fucking Party Next Door that are dropping next week that I have to look forward to. And these motherfuckers decide to have the audacity to drop a fucking album by complete surprise as if I'm not already fucking stressed by everything. Fucking Eminem did it once earlier this year. Now Gambino thinks he can fucking do it because he's Donald fucking Glover. Well, you know what? How about this, Donald? Fuck you. Get that fucking camera out of my goddamn face before I shove it up your ass. That is right, y'all. Today, we're going to be talking about the new surprise album by Childish Gambino entitled 3/15/20 or March 15, 2020 if you want to be like all professional about it. And by the way, for those of you wondering, this is the alternate cover to this album, which I personally think would have been better to use instead of that fucking blank ass white ass screen. Like, I actually love this one a lot more better. This is Childish Gambino's long awaited 4th studio album, which comes to us about 3 years after Awaken My Love, the very weird fucking album that took us by surprise because it was something that we never would have expected Gambino to do. And now he is back to cure us of our quarantine blues by dropping yet another weird album. Like, I'm not even fucking joking. I thought Awaken My Love was fucking weird. This new one is like actually fucking weird. So as far as I know, this album did drop on March 15, but it was only to those who went on his website, which I personally didn't even know that he had a fucking website, but it was on there, and a lot of people were like freaking out about it because it just like came out of nowhere. And then I guess like a few hours later it got taken down, or Gambino took it down, and then out of nowhere 2 fucking days ago this man just fucking drops it on fucking all the fucking like streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music and all that shit. And I swear to y'all, like, I was like completely fucking shocked and was not expecting this shit whatsoever. As a matter of fact, the way I found out is my friend Jordan, who is probably the biggest fucking Childish Gambino fan I know, was fucking like calling me on my phone, freaking out, going, bro, I'm not fucking kidding. Gambino dropped this fucking album. You gotta fucking listen to it. You gotta fucking listen to it. Come on. And I was like, God damn, like, chill the fuck out. And then I went on Apple Music and I saw it and I was like, God damn, like this boy finally fucking made the album. So this album contains 12 songs and it's nearly an hour long, and I guess it is now time for me to say my opinions about it because, like I said earlier, this is a fucking weird one. First of all, if you've been a fucking fan of Gambino for a very, very long time, then you know how obsessed he is with fucking weird shit. As a matter of fact, if any of you have ever seen that stand-up comedy special that he did a few years back called fucking Weirdo, where he pretty much said how like he likes music, but he likes like weird shit, and there's not really like that much like weird stuff in the world right now. So, that's why his music has always been like so fucking weird and obscure. There's a reason why in his like fucking rap albums he always like said the most like weird shit ever, and fucking like said the most like disgusting shit ever. It was because he knows how weird it is, and he wants to do it because it's fucking different. So that's something that I've always appreciated about Childish Gambino, is that he definitely like always stayed true to himself by just being his weird fucking wacky self, both in his acting career and in his music career. Now, I'm sure we all fucking remembered our personal reactions and the whole world's reactions when Awaken My Love came out. I think I was a junior in high school when that album came out, and I'm gonna be honest, I was expecting a full-on, like rap like album by Gambino. And then the moment that first track fucking called Me and Your Mama came on, and I just heard this fucking weird ass R&B sound, I was like, what the fuck is this, and why do I want to like listen to it more? So obviously Awaken My Love was a very experimental album for Childish Gambino because it was him doing something outside of hip hop and just him trying to like expand himself more as a musician than to just be a typical rapper. But if you really thought that Awaken My Love was a very experimental album, then you have not heard nothing yet, because this one is very experimental. Very, all fucking capitals. Very experimental. Like, holy fucking shit, I was not expecting what I fucking heard on this album. Most of the tracks on this album, except for the two tracks entitled Algorithm and Time, are all entitled as timestamps instead of actual titles. Kind of like Kendrick Lamar's Untitled Unmastered, because I know like those titles were like the like dates of when they were fucking recorded or something like that. But this time it's just like pure fucking timestamps of like, like when the song starts. So like I thought that was a pretty like smart move, although I would love to have seen actual titles. But you know what? I'm not gonna question you at all, Gambino. Like do your thing. And besides the tracks being entitled as timestamps, Gambino's voice is also very different and weird on this album. I'm not talking about Awaken My Love weird and different. I'm talking about like Tyler the Creator Igor weird and different. Like I did not recognize Gambino's voice on most of the tracks on this album. Like I was like, holy shit, I don't know why he did this weird edit, but I like really fuck with it. Now, I'm sure that a few people would consider Gambino as both a rapper and a singer, but in my opinion, after this album, I think I can only like see Gambino as just a fucking musician, because honestly, this album has this dude jumping from genre to genre. Like I'm not even joking. Like a little bit of everything is in this fucking album. Now, of course, there are a few tracks on this album that have that typical like soulful R&B and that weird dorky rap style that Gambino has done in the past that we all know and love. But he does explore a few different genres that he's like never done before. Like for example, there are a few tracks on here that have that sort of like jumpy like techno style to it. There's a few tracks that had that sort of like old school, like I guess 90s funky style that that honestly sounds really fucking great. And there's even one track that has a fucking country style. Like I'm not even fucking around. There is a country song on this album. I never thought that I'd see the day where I get to say Childish Gambino and country in the same fucking sentence. Like it's fucking weird. Like keep this in mind. I don't mind country music whatsoever. I have one band that I really love that do country music. Like I don't mind country music at all. But like I just never thought that Gambino would do a country song. And honestly, it fucking works out. I have no idea how he managed to make it work out, but he fucking did. Gambino and country is that weird combination that you never thought would happen and you didn't want to happen, and now that it did happen, you fucking love it because it just works out. So obviously a big highlight for me is definitely the production value in this album. I honestly can't believe how much Gambino has improved with his production skills, as like the years like kept going. He like never disappoints when it comes to the production value. I really love the production value on past albums like Camp and Because the Internet and the Kawaii EP. He just always had a really like cool and like different production value to all of his albums. And, they never sounded the same. They all sounded different. I just really loved how Gambino was able to bring something new to the table every time he dropped an album. And this one is by far like my favorite album by Gambino that he's dropped in a fucking while. The production value on this album kind of sounds as if Childish Gambino and Jordan Peele got together and they just fucking randomly said, hey, let's work on an album together, and out came this fucking masterpiece. Like that's honestly how weird and fucking crazy this album sounds. Another big highlight is definitely Childish Gambino himself. This man has improved so much on his vocals and on his fucking rapping skills. I thought his vocals sounded good when Awaken My Love first came out, but he just sounds like a fucking angel on this fucking album. Even with that like weird edit in his voice throughout the whole album, like he honestly like still sounds so fucking great. And his fucking rapping skills and his fucking like punchlines and wordplay are still like pretty damn clever. Like I think Gambino is probably one of my favorite like modern lyricist, because you know his fucking like punchlines and fucking lyricism are like so fucking clever. Like I have never heard a single person that has this man's fucking like lyricism. So like honestly that's just another like big highlight. And even though there's only a little bit of them, the features are definitely another big highlight for me on this album, because I just feel any artist that collaborates with Childish Gambino, they just like manage to make some beautiful fucking songs together. Like for example, Ariana Grande makes an appearance on a song called Time, which she also has that weird edit like sound to her voice, obviously, but she just sounds so fucking great with Gambino. I'm not that big on Ariana Grande personally, but when I heard like the first song that they did together like a few years back, they sounded so good together, and just hearing them like collaborate, one more time for this album, they just sounded so good. And another person that makes an appearance on this album is none other than 21 Savage. He had a song with Gambino a few years back called a Monster, back in 2018. And just hearing 21 Savage go off again on a Gambino track, like he just sounds so good. I wasn't that big on 21 Savage, when he first started out, but that one album that came out in 2018 was definitely like the start of me becoming like a 21 Savage fan. And just hearing him again on this album, just like that man has so much fucking potential, and I really hope that him and Gambino keep like making songs together. And of course, as Gambino does best, he does have a few tracks that have like a sort of hidden message and just like a deep fucking lesson to teach to all of his fans. For example, the track entitled 1910 is pretty much a song about racism, as Gambino talks about the ups and downs of what it's like to be a black man in today's society. And the track entitled 2419 is pretty much Gambino thanking his current girlfriend that he has right now, because like she pretty much showed him and taught him the love that he never thought he would ever get in his life, the love that he never thought he deserved, and just pretty much thanking his lover for keeping him sane throughout his good and his bad times. And the track entitled 4748 is pretty much Gambino saying how it's sad that in today's society we are used to seeing violence, how violence is pretty much like a whole like big thing that we see today. And how like not only it has an effect on the adults right now, but how it's gonna affect like our current like kids right now, as they grow up and just like see violence as a like normal thing to have. And finally, there are two tracks that we've already heard before the album came out, which are the tracks entitled 4226, which is pretty much an alternate version of Feels Like Summer, which sounds super fucking amazing. And the second track entitled Algorithm, which if you went to the This Is America tour, which I definitely did, I don't know if y'all can see that ticket right there, but I definitely went to go see Gambino perform at the Pepsi Center last year. But yeah, Algorithm was the song that Gambino sang at first to start off the show, which sounded really fucking amazing in person. I have never heard that song before, but it sounded so great, and it sounds just as great on this album. At this point, I don't think any of us can better prepare ourselves so we can like be like fully ready for a Gambino project if he does drop another one after this one. So what I will say is, to those like really hardcore Gambino fans, all I'm gonna say is just don't expect anything at all at this point, because with Childish Gambino, you honestly will never ever know what the fuck he's gonna do next. Honestly, I do feel a little bit of sadness and a little bit of happiness, when I hear this album, because obviously I'm happy to be hearing another Gambino project after it being 3 years of him not dropping an album. But at the same time, I feel a bit sad because when I went to the This Is America concert like about a year ago, Gambino did like say, thank you all so much for buying tickets to the final Gambino tour. And he did also say that the next album he was going to drop was going to be like his last album ever. So I honestly really hope this won't be his last album, because this album just showed so much great potential of what Gambino can do for the fucking rap industry and just like the fucking music industry in general. This album was just too fucking good for it to be his final fucking album. Like I really want him to like at least drop one more. Overall, whether this will be Gambino's final album or not, I highly recommend this album to each and every one of you. To all the Gambino fans, to all the rap fans, to just any fucking music lover in general, this fucking album is something that you will fucking enjoy, and it's the one album that you have to listen to at least once. Like, I honestly like this better than After Hours by The Weeknd, and that's sad for me to say because the After Hours was a really good album, but after this one, like, honestly, Gambino wins. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed my review. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click that bell down below, all that good stuff so you don't miss a single one of my uploads whatsoever. And don't forget to stay happy.